this video, I share everything significant you need to know about childcare in Canada, including the different types of childcare, what to expect from a childcare facility, and the process to apply for a childcare fee subsidy. Welcome to my channel, Canada Life Hacks. Childcare, also called as daycare or preschools, are a great way for working parents to entrust their child when they're working or attending a school in Canada. There are different types of childcare facilities. There are unregulated childcare facility and regulated childcare facilities. Unregulated childcare facilities are services like babysitting or nanny caregiving, where the care is given in the child's home. Regulated childcare facility is what I'm going to talk about in this video. So in the rest of the video, whatever you hear is pertaining to regulated childcare facilities. There are two types of regulated childcare facilities: home daycare, also called as home childcare, or childcare centers. Home daycare is run by one caregiver inside a home. For example, I can start a daycare at my home if I'm able to meet the standards and regulations laid out by the government. Home daycare will have comparatively lesser number of children, primarily due to the space constraint. On the contrary, daycare centers will be managed by a larger licensed institution, which will be monitored and regulated by the government. Personally, I find daycare centers to be better at their game than a home daycare because they undergo surprise monitoring from the government officials, and that requires them to be at their best every single day. Again, that is just my personal opinion. It is always up to the parent to choose your child's comfort, safety, security, and even your convenience, and then decide if you want your child to go to a home childcare or a daycare center. Unlicensed daycare centers are illegal in Canada, so just make sure that you're choosing a licensed daycare, be it a home daycare or a daycare center. In this video, you might see me using the term childcare and daycare interchangeably. You don't have to be confused. It's not different. Both are the same. Childcare is the same as daycare. Anyway, so let's move on to curriculum and classroom classifications in a childcare. Most regulated daycare function between 7 a.m. and 6 p.m. Monday to Friday. In every daycare, children will be grouped on the basis of their age group. Newborn babies to children up to 1.5 years will be in infant classroom, and from 1.5 years to 2.5 years, those children would be in toddler classroom, and from 2.5 years to 4 or 5 years will be preschoolers. Every child has activities, toys and books catered to their age. In fact, all children's routines, needs and interests differ as per their age group, and that is the reason they are being put into different classrooms according to their age. Unlike some elementary schools or higher classes, there is no uniform in daycare. Also, unlike in school, you don't have to provide food for your child going to daycare. Food is provided at the daycare itself. They have breakfast, morning snack, lunch, and an evening snack. Some daycare centers usually cater their food from outside food caterers, whereas some other daycare centers prepare their food in their facility itself. Either way, it's going to be healthy food containing carbohydrates, vegetables, proteins, dairy, fruits. So you don't have to worry about that. In fact, sometimes I find that the food at the daycare is really better than what I give to my kids at home. Though I said that we need not provide food for our kids going to daycare, parents are allowed to bring pumped breast milk for infants, and we can also give soy milk and juices if our child takes them instead of the normal 2% milk that we usually get in the market in Canada. Every daycare will be really conscious about a child's specific food related needs and allergies, if any. So we as parents can be, and I advise you should be, very clear and transparent to the daycare providers on your child's specific food needs and allergies, if any. Every childcare will have a curriculum that they abide by that caters to all the developmental needs of the children. In fact, parents can request for the curriculum and the menu when they get in touch with the daycare administrators. Now, let's get to the most interesting part. One question that I usually get from many of the newcomers is childcare in Canada free? Canada is very popular for the free education it provides for school-going children, but education schooling is different from daycare. So, is childcare in Canada free? The answer is no. The childcare in Canada is not free, but we need not pay for it. I repeat, we need not pay for it if we are eligible for a full subsidy. Though childcare is one of the most expensive things in Canada, the government offers full or partial subsidy to families depending on your family income. Childcare subsidy is when the government pays this fee for you. So if you get a full subsidy, you literally do not have to pay the childcare fee. The Canadian government pays a fee for you. Whereas if you get a partial subsidy, you might have to pay a little bit of the fee, but the rest of it is taken care of by the government. So even when I say that childcare in Canada is not free, some parents are not paying the childcare fee because they would be getting the full subsidy or partial subsidy. The big question is, who is eligible for it? How do you know if you are eligible for a full or partial subsidy? In the next few minutes, we are going to be talking about it, and I think it's fair that we as parents know the intricacies and every single minute detail associated with subsidy. So I've purposefully made that section a little bit detailed, so keep watching. The minimum requirement for being eligible for a subsidy is that both parents should be either working or studying. It is fine even if only one of you is working and the other is studying, but neither of the parents should be sitting at home idle. The logic is, if you are at home, then you can take care of the child, right? Canadian system is generally very understanding of the person-to-person situation. And one such situation is when you are a new migrant and if both of the parents or if either of the parents is hunting for a job. We all know that job hunting is like a full-time job. It requires so much of time and effort, and it's very hard to job hunt, attend interviews, etc., when you have a child at home. So to make things easier in such situations, you will be given a 90 days grace period. In those 90 days, your child can go to a childcare, be eligible for subsidy provided the family income is not much. The only condition is that you should be landing yourself in a job or a college within those 90 days. Subsidy is calculated on the basis of the family income. So if your family income of the parents, both the parents, is really high, then you will not be eligible for any subsidy. But if your family income is low, moderate, you might be eligible for a full or partial subsidy. Every province will have different criteria and limit for calculating the subsidy. So if you want to know if you are eligible for a subsidy, please contact the settlement case worker at your nearest childcare office. And I'm sure you will find the childcare office contact details through a quick search on Google, or you could get a rough estimate using the online childcare subsidy calculator that some cities offer. I know Toronto has one for sure, and I will be linking that in the description box. Another interesting thing about childcare and childcare subsidy is the wait list. Waiting period to get a spot for your child in a daycare center and the waiting period to get a subsidy is really high. Being in Toronto, I had to wait for 7 months to get subsidy for my child, and a few weeks after that to get a spot in a daycare center of our choice. Many of them here apply for subsidy and register for daycare even before the baby is born. You wouldn't believe it, but that's true. That's how long the wait list is. So if your family has recently moved to Canada and if both parents are planning to work, apply for subsidy and register for a daycare as soon as possible. There are two aspects for the wait list. One is the waiting list for the subsidy, and the other is the waiting list to get a spot for your child in a daycare center. So the entire process goes like this. You apply for a childcare subsidy online. In the description box, I will be giving a link to apply for childcare subsidy if you are in Toronto. Like that, every city will have its own portal, different portals online to apply for a childcare subsidy. After you apply for a childcare subsidy, you will receive an email confirming the application. Keep this email as it has the date in which you were added to the waiting list and your client file number. Client file number is a unique ID which you would need for all future communications on this. Now this is where the waiting starts. You can use this waiting period to find daycares near you. Every city will have its own online daycare locator, like Toronto's daycare locator, which I have given in the description box. Try to schedule an in-person meeting with a daycare and visit the place, or even request for an online tour. If you come across a daycare center that you really like in particular, register your child there by requesting them to add your child in their waiting list, because every childcare center will have its own waiting list and spots don't open up very fast. Going back to the Subsidy wait list, so where were we? Yes, so we had applied for Subsidy and was waiting for the interview meeting. So when your name comes towards the top of the childcare fee subsidy wait list, you will receive an email requesting you to arrange a meeting with a caseworker who would then discuss your eligibility and your childcare options. Getting this intimation about the interview meeting is what's the most time consuming and what took 7 months for me. After you meet with the caseworker, they review your documents and process your file, and that's when you will officially be given a childcare fee subsidy. Once you successfully get an intimation from the caseworker, you can then call the daycare you previously decided and intimate them. In fact, they would have already received an intimation from the childcare office, but it's good that you give them a call too, because then you would be able to know what is the status of the spots and when they can actually start going to the daycare. After we start receiving the subsidy, any changes to family income and family situations need to be reported to assess our continued eligibility for subsidy. Personally, Subsidy was such a great support system when we were just starting off in Canada. The only thing that I always urge parents to do is to visit the daycare center before you start sending your child. I visited about 5 to 6 childcare centers before I decided where to send my kids. In fact, to me, minute things matter, like the ventilation of the classroom, the light in the classroom, the curriculum, the menu, and most importantly, how the caregivers treated the children mattered very much to me. Of course, I want to work and I want somebody to look after my children. Daycare is giving me the opportunity to do so at a minimal cost, but it should have the setting where I would be comfortable, where my kids would be comfortable, where my kids would be happy, engaged, and taken care of in a good way. And I would want to experience it firsthand. And I urge that all parents do the same. Visit the daycare before you confirm. You don't have to visit many, but at least a few. That's pretty much everything significant about childcare in Canada. Hope this answers some of your questions, doubts, and concerns. Please leave me a comment about any areas uncovered, or if you have any suggestions for my upcoming videos. And also, if you found this video useful, please subscribe to my channel and hit the bell icon so that next time I upload a video, you wouldn't miss out on it. Thank you so much for watching. Until we meet again, adios amigos.